Okay, here we go again, our asymmetric color. So I'll section off from the right side at the parietal ridge, and I'll section out a curved line that dips to the back, and then it'll start to circulate back upward, finishing at the between the left side's parietal and the ear. So again, my section's quite asymmetric. So I'll begin in the back. My formula here, I'm using a level 7 red with a level 7 red. The ratio is 1:1 with 30 volume developer, and this is a formula I'll use for off roots. Okay, and the inspiration for this color, well, since we got into the sectioning, the reason why I'm taking it somewhat asymmetric is because this is a section that will complement the haircut best. So the haircut, again, will take precedent. One of the two has to take precedence. It's either the color is there to support the haircut, or the haircut is there to support the chemical. So in this case, the chemical, the color, the asymmetric color technique is there to support the haircut. So the internal sections and inspiration and the texture and depth that I'll build with the color will complement the asymmetric haircut that I'll be doing after. Okay, so always again, I'm going to jump into the technical portion. So working clean sections, I'm working with quite large sections on super thick hair, which sometimes can be a bit dangerous if you're not careful. But after 2 decades of working with super thick hair, I kind of found my way around it. So I just use tons of product. I like to super saturate the hair. So that way I am ensured that I get an even distribution of the product, and it doesn't slow me down. I don't have to spend 2 days hitting one area. So I'll apply a generous amount of product and I'll rub it in. Because there's nothing worse than putting all your effort into doing an amazing color, and at the end, while you're drying the hair, you find out that you missed some spots. It's basically unacceptable. So always have super high standards, and if you have to use a bit more color, then you have to use a bit more color. That's no big deal. It's about the end results. Okay, so now I'm moving into the side area, and I'm working away from the face, so it's safer and a cleaner manner. And again, for this chemical technique, I really don't have to go and hit the ends 100%, because I know after this chemical process, I'll go back and I'll be cutting off those lengths. So it would be redundant and just a big waste of time to go from all the way through those ends, because I know within an hour after, those ends will be on the floor. Back to the formula, I use a 30 volume developer, but a quite lighter tint. I'm aiming for a level 5 red. So I lowered my developer, but I upped my tint, so that way I can retain a lot more of her natural warmth. The natural warmth, the natural red, when we lift dark hair, we pull warmth. This case around, I want to keep that warmth. So the more natural warmth I can retain, the less fadage I will get. I always look for longevity and integrity with a chemical process. I want the red that leaves the salon to hold its weight for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So working my techniques into the opposite side, again working away from the face, and try and keep the red off the ears and the neck and stuff, because it has a tendency to stain. So cleanliness is next to godliness. So always work clean, cool, and collected. So now I'll go back and I'm painting out my outline sections. So here I'll go back in and I'm hitting the roots. So my root formula is a level 7 red with 20 volume developer. So that will take me to a 5. So again, I drop my developer, and this time I remove that 7 red, because again, I'll pull even more warmth at the roots, so my colors will match up. In the salon, I always, if I'm using a tint, if I'm doing one solid color, I don't do those anymore. I'll always go out of my way to have the chemical fit the haircut. So even if my client wants one tone, like a level 6 red, I'll communicate with her strongly that we can play with 2 tones, like a level 5 red and a level 6 red, and interplay those 2, because that way I can build the color structure to support the haircut that I plan to do. And also, it looks a lot better. You have to understand that technology progresses a lot each year, and the home color out of a box, if my client just wants a level 5 red, she can probably get that out of a box at the supermarket. So I need to make sure that the result I give the guest in the salon, she cannot mimic at home. So again, details always show, and I'm also competing with technology. So you always have to be ahead of the game, know what's around the corner, and always adapt to it and give more than the client expects. And with that philosophy of always using more than one color, you have to use your brain more. You have to think more. You have to sit back and say, okay, so now I'm using 2 tones of red, for example. How do I place these colors to best complement the haircut that I will be doing after? So that brain work, that will up your game significantly, because again, details always show and intelligence will always shine through. Every client loves a smart hairdresser, so that's easily achieved. You just have to get into the habit of exercising your brain. Your brain is your absolute best tool, so don't waste it and use it. Okay, there we go. There's our asymmetric color. Enjoy.